What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Grab My Banner podcast. My name is Wyatt B. Across the table from me is my boy Bryan. Bryan, say what's up.
What's up, you guys?
We've got Kyle to my left.
Hey, what's good?
And then we got the super producer Troy sitting at the table, kind of like diagonal. Would you say diagonal?
Yeah, I don't care what you would call it, but I know that you are now going to be called Second Bryan because your performance was absolutely pathetic.
It was one quarter.
Listen, I'm sure you're going to hear it later, okay? But a running theme is the fact that you were running through your games just trying to finish. If you've ever been a woman, which I know that you have, okay, how in God's good graces are you going to have a man walk up to you and say, "Hey, baby, I'm just trying to finish," and then have a special moment? You had no special moments because you were just trying to finish from the beginning to the end. Let's make this as fast and sweet as possible so that I can crawl into my crusty sheets and go into the next phase of my existence. That's the way you played. Let's talk about it.
Here's what happened, okay? I did not intend at all to just call it. But here's what happened. I play my second quarter, and I got absolutely shredded 3 straight games in a row. And after that, I was like, I cannot just continue this. Plus, I had class, because I tried to do my second quarter. It was Monday night.
Second Bryan.
It was last night.
Second Bryan.
So then I had to finish that.
You've said 2 sentences. You've given us 3 excuses.
Here's how I bounced back. 4 kills, 3 kills, 2 kills, 1 kills, 3 kills, 0 kills, 6 kills, 1 kills. I literally bounced back as hard as I could after a 1-0-0-0 performance.
That sounded like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm a modern-day rhymer.
On. So 0 kills is bouncing back as hard as you could?
In one game. But Bryan, you want to talk about zeros, Bryan? You're going to roast me about having zeros, Bryan?
You can't roast
me about having zeros.
You have the most
You're
zeros.
Mr. Zero.
You're selling them at a discount.
I still have more kills in one quarter than either of you.
You don't have more kills than me total. I have 32.
How many kills do you have in one quarter? What's your highest quarter kills?
Mine was 11.
I have 15.
You had 15?
I had a fucking 15.
How do you have 15 in one quarter and then still only manage to get 30 kills?
Well,
you just roasted yourself.
It's because listen, it's very important that you see it's the first quarter that he got those kills because what the game said was, you know what, this dude's in 3rd grade, we got to give him a break. They SBMM'd him down to kids that only have one hand, and he dominated, okay? And then he unfortunately got put back into the general population and continued to flounder, okay? And there, in the general population, you know who he ran into as one of his teammates? He ran into the second version of himself, okay? Namely, Wyatt Babb. It was like, wow,
so
I'm playing the clone, I'm playing with the clone of myself.
I've never had that happen
We can
before.
choke and sink.
I've never had that happen before where I get placed in a game with somebody who is on my friends list. That was unintentional. Me and Bryan are trying to finish our games late last night, and we get thrown into a game together. So obviously that didn't count. But yeah, that was funny.
I've never seen you be so pissed to be in a game with me until that moment.
Yeah, that was one of the worst situations I've ever been in because I just had gotten off of a fresh, terrible game. It was my only 0 game in the second half, and so I get thrown into a game with Bryan right after that. Like, you got a 0, go play with Bryan.
Yeah,
that was what happened to me.
It's like it must have felt like when you show up to Christmas and 12 Toes Tony is there, and you're like, man, he's going to open all my presents, and it just puts you you in a bad mood.
What the hell is 12 Toes Tony?
Speaking from experience.
Listen, I like to fantasize about things that could happen to me so that when they do happen, I'm prepared. But let's not talk about me.
Dude, what is up with the foot fetish there?
12 toes?
No, it's not something I like. Listen, he has 12 toes.
You just said you fantasize about a dude with 12 toes.
I know, because what if that actually came to fruition? There's a man with 12 toes whose name was Tony that came to my Christmas and opened my presents. If I don't think about that ahead of time, I'm going to shut down. I'm going to shut down like Wyatt in all 4 of his quarters. And I don't want to be that guy. I want to say, hey, Tony, you can open my presents because after today, okay, you're going to go back to your 12 toes existence, and maybe if you have a PS3, you'll be a little bit less upset at the world. All right? I'm okay.
You know what? I'm okay with this, Troy. You want to know why? Because I have one off week where I still get more kills than pretty much everybody, and I still have an average damage of 607.
There's only 3 people here.
Yeah, that's good. If I'm in the middle, I feel
You didn't get more kills than me. Get the fuck out of here.
How many kills you have? 34?
34.
Congratulations. Oh, let me clap for you. Good job. I got 47 week 1, and I just got 32 this week.
Yeah, because you shit the fucking bed.
I got 20 a week ago. You had 10 less than me last week.
And I got 30 now. I jumped up already. I'm only 2 behind you.
Here,
I'm
grab my
dominating.
grab my banner.
Here's
grab
what I
my
like.
banner. We don't like to rest on our laurels, bro. It's about this week.
Here's
all
what
right?
I like.
It's about this.
I
week.
have one bad week. I get roasted for it. Okay, keep me to that standard because I'm just gonna keep coming out stronger. I'm just gonna keep going, baby.
Really?
The choo-choo train is moving now, boys.
Listen, let me tell you. You guys are the only two people in this 3-person trio that each has 1 kill quarters. I don't have a single 1 kill quarter because you guys both suck.
But your average damage is boo-boo bonkers. Your average damage
Kyle,
is garbage town
you
because you
literally
get one big
bullet.
game.
You get one bullet on somebody, and you get one big game, and that's all you get for the entire week.
Gee, I can't
But what
even
Kyle
look at
brings
this.
that neither of you bring, okay, is morale.
have a 0-0.
When Kyle
You
steps-
You have a 0-0.
No,
He's talking shit.
it doesn't matter
You have a
if he has
0-0.
a double zero. All right, that's like you drop, you get roasted. That's not his fault.
You have a
I
okay.
have one
he has a
double
0-29.
Okay, we
That's
drop, we
bad.
get roasted. We
That's
still put
bad.
damage on
He
people.
has a 0-29.
I put damage on people.
Oh,
At least I hit my
didn't-
max.
You didn't hear in the second half because you got this 0-0 right here.
Oh my! That's the quarter that I got my max.
Okay, so you went from 0-0.
0-0 to your one big game, and then just shat everywhere else.
You didn't.
I didn't shat. I
50%.
did.
Well, hold on.
Oh,
I'll leave that.
speaking, 50% of your quarters, you did not hit your average damage. One of those quarters that you did hit it, you only hit it because you had one big game.
So I still hit it.
No, I refused. I refuse. Listen, I want you guys to hold me to the standard. I'm glad I had a bad week so I could see what the reaction was. Okay, next week, dominance.
No, you saw the way that we descended upon Bryan last week for sucking, and it just crippled you with fear. That's what happened.
You came at Bryan last week for sucking. You got 20 kills. My bad week was 32. I'm fine with that.
I'm not holding you to Bryan's
I'm feeling
standard.
good.
And if you want me to, okay, then you already lost. If you already fucking lost. If you want me to treat you like Bryan,
Why
like
am
the
I
game
still
did.
getting roasted?
Bryan, that
Listen,
was a
that's what
historically bad week.
Okay, that was really fucking
That was really
bad.
Bryan,
fucking bad.
that was a
dude.
That was
historically
really
bad.
bad.
week.
This
Like-
week I
like
played
we
a lot
said, man,
better,
you-
but it was still not the greatest week I've had. But
And
I played a lot.
You guys are also forgetting that Kyle over here is the worst teammate in Apex history. So if we
Clearly,
were
he doesn't even help with damage.
if we were counting all the damage that he was trying to put on his own teammates, he would beat his average damage every week.
I mean, this is true, and there's really no way to get around it, Kyle. When you're looking at these damage numbers with your kills associated, it's
I
like
just see a bunch of stolen kills.
It's just stolen kills.
stolen kills. That's all it is. You're just stealing everyone else's kills.
Just own it, dude.
Listen,
just
if I
own it.
steal your kills, I'm really sorry, but I really don't give a fuck.
See,
so,
okay,
Exactly.
he owns
there
it.
it is.
He owns
He
it.
owns it. There it is.
I'm fine with it now. I'm okay with it now because he owns it.
listen,
All right,
if I come through with the massive with the final shot in the last minute,
for
that's
14?
just me. Yeah.
all right, boys. We've got a big show coming up here today. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. We're going to go through our Reddit discussion coming up here just after I finish this rundown. Then we're going to go to our brand new segment with Troy, our super producer, Word on the Street. We'll hit our main discussion, and then we'll finish off the show with gambling like we always do. So we've got ourselves a nice little show here today. So let's get into that Reddit discussion. World's Edge. Now, we've seen a lot of Kings Canyon get brought back into the game multiple times over and over and over and over. So let's go in. This comes from a Redditor named BBOCI21. He said, this season World's Edge is definitely overall the best regarding POIs, but I really miss Capital City and the overall lighting, blue skies, from Season 3. What do you guys think? I personally would love to see the original version of World's Edge. More specifically, I would love to see the original Capital City come back.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, as it's gone down the line, World's Edge has arguably became the better map of the two, especially for a competitive gameplay style. So I actually really enjoy World's Edge right now. That being said, I fucking hate Capital City. Fragment East, Fragment West is not the same. You have one side that's just completely dominant over the other. What is it? East?
Well, there's that central area where the crack runs through.
Yeah,
and then
I
it
think
goes to
that's-
the one side. Yeah.
I
That
think it's
main building
technically-
is where it kind of runs.
That's it. Like, that's the new Skull Town. That's the new, if you played Fortnite, Tilted Towers of that map. It's in the center. It's where everyone drops. Old Capital City, the entire city used to be that. And you would have time to grab loot. You'd have a lot better fights. and it was enough to support multiple teams. Yes, the third parties were bad, and that's why they put the crack in the middle. I'd rather deal with the third parties than drop in the same place as everyone else and not have a easy enough access to rotate over and be able to capitalize on everyone dropping there.
Kyle?
I really love the original map, to be honest, and I hated when they added the crack in the middle because I felt like it just kind of like threw a wrench in the mojo of the map. And I think the reason why they did it was to stop the third parties, like Bryan said, and it slows it down a lot, significantly. But I mean, even then, I think that the third parties still happen, and like, there's the middle part of the map where the two halves meet is just a clusterfuck all the time. There is always people there, and there's always people waiting for you to show up to that one spot and just totally roast you. And I think that the old way it was set up, which I forget, we call it
the Pentagon.
We call it the Pentagon.
The tall building with the two zip lines on the sides.
With the two zip lines that are like elevators.
Closest to train yard.
Yeah, so we call it the Pentagon, but the building next to the Pentagon, we didn't have a name for it, but we loved that building to death. And I thought that the transition from the Pentagon to that other building was a really cool transition because it had that zip line. And getting rid of that building, it just took out a lot of the fun gameplay from landing there.
It took out the long-range interaction between the buildings. When you used to be up at that building, the Pentagon building next to or closest to train yard, you used to be able to sit there, and you used to be able to play to your team's strengths, range, or you could try to get a zip line in, crack, and push past, and push on the other team. You could do that. You had the access, the availability to do that. Now you can't even really rain down on the teams near the train station. Like, you can shoot over to there, but you're not going to be able to really see much, not without at least a 3-time scope. And even then, you're playing such a far range that there's no character in the game right now that can cover that distance. Prior to that, you could even fight all the way over there, but you could shoot, and then you could take the zip line, and then you can cover that range. You could do a double zip line with Pathfinder. Wraith was really good at it. A lot of stuff. Now it took that out so much, and I miss having that long range engagement to where you had to tactfully take damage and put damage on them. They kind of just removed that from Capital City.
What was interesting about the original Capital City and the original World's Edge, mostly Capital City, was that when you landed on either the Pentagon or the opposite building, it was like you were looting, but at the same time you were looking over, like kind of side-eyeing that other building and just kind of waiting, because you'd see the other teams over there, you'd see what you had in front of you, whichever side you were on, and you were just kind of looting, looking over, and once you felt like you're ready to go, now it's time to clash, and that feeling is unmatched. That feels like a completely different world, and I kind of miss it, man. I kind of miss that original one. I really don't think they eliminated the third parties like everybody's talking about. All I think it did was shift people to go on one side rather than the other. I feel like it's actually the exact same. You don't want to go to that area unless you absolutely have to. And the other thing, too, the other aspect of this argument is like, okay, if you're going to bring back every version of King's Canyon at different times, I don't see why the original version of World's Edge hasn't been brought back once. It's just since they made it Fragment East and Fragment West, it's never come back. And I feel like it would be only fair, especially for I feel like a lot of newer players came to Apex after World's Edge was cracked with the drop of Revenant and Loba, and I think the numbers on Season 5 alone. Planet Harvester. Nobody really remember Fuel Depot. I would love to see Fuel Depot again, man.
Fuel Depot is great.
Fuel Depot, that's where Harvester is right now. That was an incredible part of the map, and that was another long zip line leading up to another area. Yeah. I would love to see it come back, maybe just for a few, like maybe a week-long event or something.
I would love to see that. I also, starting to talk about these new points of interest in Harvester and things like that. How do you guys feel about them? We got a lot of new points of interest in a very large map, and though we lost Capital City in a sense, or it was drastically changed, what do you guys think about the new points of interest that are more spread out throughout the map?
I like the newest ones that they added with the blast doors and stuff. I think those are really cool. And I think they add new points of interest that are actually really good loot spots, and those are a lot of fun to actually have fights on. The ones right off of the Mirage Voyage, the one right next to it with all the blast doors and stuff, I think that one's a really great drop spot, and then I think that the one over Drill Site is really, really great too.
I would love to see World's Edge in its original form come back, but overall, I think this version of World's Edge is the best version, especially what they did with the train. Taking the train out of the game, I always felt like the train was kind of useless anyway. It was more of just like, it was a crapshoot. There wasn't really anything that was going to come of that. What I like about the train now is the different cars are all over the map, and you can use those places as like little hiding spots where if you're running across the train tracks, you can actually chill out somewhere, regather, if you're stuck, it gives you somewhere to go. Because before, the train tracks were pretty much just useless.
It was a death trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like they put the train cars in these weird strategic locations that you could kind of like use them as like a little base, and I kind of dig that.
Yeah, so I think, I would like to see the old World's Edge come back, but for sure I'm happy with what they've done to World's Edge up to this point. I feel like it's really it's grown on me, man. It's become the premier map, I think, in this game. As much as I do love Kings Canyon, I think that World's Edge just competes with it.
Definitely. Without a doubt, it's on the same plane. I actually have been enjoying World's Edge more than Kings Canyon lately.
Yeah, same. So now let's get into our our newest segment. This one is from our super producer Troy here. It's called Word on the Street. Now, Troy is our super producer, but he isn't the most, accomplished Apex player. He plays every once in a while, but he's been taking some time, learning more about Apex, reading up, watching videos, and he decided to bring forth this segment to us where he asks us a question that from a non-player perspective to get perspective from players. So, Troy, go ahead. Bring
That's
in your
right.
segment here.
Oh, I'm so excited. All right, boys and girls. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of reading on Reddit. I've been doing a lot of watching on YouTube. I like YouTube the best. I'm always on YouTube. And I have a couple things that really jumped out at me. And the primary one was something regarding Pathfinder, because there's been a lot of changes both in Season 5 and Season 6. And so Pathfinder was given a new passive that reduced his cooldown by 10 seconds for every time that he utilized a survey beacon, which Crypto and Blood now can utilize. So that kind of made him a little bit less original, and they actually put that in the patch notes, which I found really interesting. And if he uses it 6 times, it reduces his zipline's cooldown from 120 seconds down to half of that at 60. Which, seems pretty strong, but from what you guys were telling me, that doesn't happen that often, huh?
I'll tell you right now, I play Pathfinder more than I play any other character in this game, and I have played him almost exclusively for the past 2 weeks. You will not hit 6 in a game.
It just seems like it almost kind of takes away from whatever game you're in. It seems like it would kind of get in the way, I feel like.
Not even that. The smallest circles at the end of the game, they're counting the last 3 circles. Most of the time, those don't even have a survey beacon in them. You can only do 1 survey beacon per ring. That's all it'll let you do because you already have the information. So, realistically, you're only going to get maybe 3 at most. 4 is the most I've ever done in a game is 4. And that was just completely unnecessary. You don't need it. It's not something you need to have.
Usually when you get 4, though, or you get 3, it's usually because you're camping at a survey beacon and waiting for the circle to close so you can use the survey beacon again.
And eventually, based on odds here, you're probably going to have to move from that spot after the second or third time anyway, unless you're just in the most perfect spot.
Yeah, after the second, or you completely luck out. And if you're in the most perfect spot, you don't need the zipline to move.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, makes sense. So I was watching this YouTuber called Back Off My Janks.
Oh, Janks.
And he was explaining that originally Pathfinder had like a Swiss cheese-like hitbox. It was really hard to hit him. And the devs gave him the low-profile damage alteration, which makes him take more damage. And then they fixed the hitbox, and they didn't take the low-profile adjustment off. And so now he describes Pathfinder as basically like a small refrigerator that's really easy to hit. And the fact that they never took off that low-profile adjustment is really making him a lot harder to play and a lot less desirable. And then on top of that, they went ahead and nerfed his grapple by changing the cooldown from 15 to 35 seconds. So you can't even move around as effectively as you could before. And so Jenks is calling for the removal of the reduction of the grapple cooldown, or at least making it less, and then also making it so that the low profile is removed. And then in the comment section, there was someone called Zero who was talking a little bit about some of the things that you guys were talking about in a previous episode with Pathfinder, but had an interesting take on it. So he mentioned that to add the passive where he has, some sort of an increased movement speed on all zip lines would be really cool. It would make him more unique and more playable. But we had a conversation about what it would look like if Pathfinder could grapple teammates. And Bryan had a lot of worries about that people would just troll you. But Zero was saying, what if he could only grapple people that were downed teammates? Would that be an effective add-on? So I guess my question is, with all of these things taken into consideration and the fact that Bloodhound and Crypto both got buffs in the Recon class, what does Pathfinder have to have changed to make him more desirable?
Okay, I really don't think you have to reinvent the wheel with this. I think it's super simple. You take off the 5%, and you lower the cooldown on the grapple 5 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds to reposition to the high ground every fight, that doesn't seem like that's very strong because, before 15 seconds, that was crazy. I really don't think it has to be anything more than you just take the 5% off and you lower the cooldown 5 seconds, and I think he's perfect. You don't have to touch him for a long time.
So my thoughts is that Pathfinder he's still a skeleton. So, I don't get where you say, he's like a small refrigerator. I think that he's still sometimes hard to hit, especially with people really good at crouch spamming, because crouch spamming is really OP with Pathfinder. When he crouches, he's 2 feet tall, and when he stands straight up, he's 6 feet tall. So then it's like a big change in height, and you're trying to aim up and down at him. So I think that the hitbox is completely fine to leave the low profile, because the people that are really good at Pathfinder know that about Pathfinder and know how to abuse it.
So then what would you propose to change then?
I would propose that you do need to lower the time for the grapple, because I think that 35 seconds to reposition is a long fucking time. And I think that, even though it's a really powerful move and it's a really powerful ability, 35 seconds is just way too much. And Troy brought up a good point earlier before we even started recording, and he said that if Octane has a gold helmet, he can literally use his ultimate before Pathfinder can use his regular ability.
Yeah, that was something they said in the
And
video
they're both
too.
Repositioning tools.
Yeah,
technically.
And Octane, basically now with the double jump, you can get on top of any building. So you're basically trading one thing for another. And I think in that case, you might as well have them be the same. Either way, repositioning tools should not be as frequent as that is.
The biggest issue with Pathfinder is he's one of those characters that is on a knife's edge. You buff him too much, he's going to take over the game. You nerf him too much, he's in the position he is now, which he's good, but he's not competitive not at a high level. The 5% damage, they can leave that or remove that. That the people who play Pathfinder and play him enough are used to that 5% damage to be able to get in and out of the fight. The 35-second cooldown sucks, but if you're going to only take off 5 seconds, it's not going to do anything. Right. That's not enough of a change. I think the biggest change to him that would make him competitive is that zipline. Him being able to move quicker on the zipline would enable him to use his grapple more freely, because now he's not repositioning with a grapple, he's repositioning with a zipline.
Yeah.
And he's doing that at a faster rate, where he's able to take those flanks mid-fight. It becomes a mid-fight tool, not just a preemptive or a team mobility. I think that right there is probably the best option as far as testing it out and seeing how that plays. You obviously won't know anything until the devs would put it in and how we see the community really get a hold of it. One of the biggest things is his grapple got shortened. The range of his grapple got shortened, and that actually took away a lot of the mobility that he could do. You used to be able to grapple and reach just about anything and fly on top of any building with a lot of ease. Grapple, you would go a lot further. You'd be able to third party more. If they increased that and increased the movement speed on the zipline, I'd be more than satisfied.
Yeah, definitely. But awesome. That was a great first segment. Word on the street. We're on the street, baby.
Good.
Now
I feel clarified.
Yeah, you should.
I feel lucid.
Well, you're not even done yet because
I'm
you
not.
have our main discussion this week. Before we get to our main discussion, let's hit a quick ad. On the other side of this thing, we'll get into our main discussion. All right, main discussion time, guys. Let's get into it. Troy, read us through what you got going there, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. All right. Listen. So there's a YouTuber called Alarmix, okay? And this guy is so informative. I love listening to his videos. You'll know that it's him if it's something where you learn a ton in 5 minutes, but you also feel like you're being hypnotized because the guy has the same cadence on almost every sentence, and it's like you listen to him and he just lulls you into a state where it feels like you're being hypnotized and the information is just being absorbed into your brain. It's really cool.
That's the best.
Yeah, it's the best. It really is. I could listen to him going to sleep.
I've had a few college professors like that.
You wake up and drool, but you actually learn it
everything.
All. Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, so he said a lot about what's going on with crossplay and September Soiree. So he proposes and states that it was originally believed that crossplay was actually going to be dropped today because it had been data mined that the aftermarket was going to be dropped today, and the community was assuming that they would be dropped together.
Today as in September 15th.
As in September 15th. That's correct. Apex devs had already said that the process of transitioning to crossplay has been extremely difficult because the game was not developed with crossplay in mind, so there's a lot of backtracking involved. Because of this, the community understood any crossplay attempt would likely be filled with bugs, understandably, and it would be more appropriate to try to get it out mid-season or so for something like an aftermarket than in a full season update. Because, the seemingly inevitable bugs could kill the season hype, which I think is a really legitimate concern. So it would be best to try it out ahead of time and work those bugs out before the new season. Alarmix suggests September Soiree and the accompanying content was never leaked, and because of that, he thinks that it's essentially a Band-Aid for major content delays that include postponed crossplay and Nintendo Switch support. Data miners are now saying to expect crossplay in October. So my question to you guys is, do you like this September Soiree Band-Aid? Even with its glitches and the disappointing skin bundles that are all the same ones that have already been released, would you rather have had Respawn be more forthright about what they're dealing with and postpone even September Soiree until it could be something with less kinks and more original content, or do you like what they're doing?
Okay, I'll start this one as well. No, I wish they would have been forthcoming with it. I wish they would have told us and just been transparent with the community and just said, hey, listen, we ran into some problems. We're struggling right now. The Switch is giving us some problems. So we're going to go ahead and let you guys know right now. It's not coming on the day you guys thought. But, here's some stuff that we have laying around. We know you guys liked this. Blah, 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 blah. If they would have done that, that would have been a lot better. The problem that I have with them just throwing the soiree back there is they added nothing to it, and then they've given us the same game modes with no original content. It's all the exact same content. Now, in the original soiree, we got content that eventually led to Evo shields, like all these brand new ideas that hadn't been out there yet, and we got to test those for the first time. And then we had the Dummies Big Day, and we're like, oh my god, these ults are going to come out, and they're going to be so cool. Like, we thought Lifeline was going to get reworked. We knew Mirage was going to get reworked, but the dancing one was so funny. And then you had all the random, stuff fly all over the place. The loot pinata, exactly. So, yeah, if I wanted to see Soiree come back, I wanted to be the guinea pig to something new again. And the fact that they kind of just threw it out there and didn't give us anything new at all is a little frustrating, especially with some of the stuff that we've seen leaked and coming out. Like we've seen the bows and we've seen pink ammo types. Like, it would have been really cool to test out those new things. Now, this event, it's the exact same. So I think crossplay is really close anyway. So if they would have been like, guys, we're not done right now, but we're really
September
fucking
to
close.
October is not that far, especially in light of COVID. It's like, people understand, man. There's everybody's struggling.
Exactly. And if they would have been like, guys, we're so close, it's just like, can you guys wait like 3 more weeks? I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'll wait 3 more weeks.
If you Well, I think also one of the reasons why they haven't done that is you don't want to give a community a time frame like that. If you tell a community 3 weeks and it gets pushed back again, now the entire community is pissed because you just lied to them.
Yeah, that's understandable as well.
I don't think they ever wanted to give an exact date for it because they want to leave that room for error.
They had said fall. They never, the community was assuming that it was going to come out with the aftermarket, and that has to be said.
And technically, we're not even in fall yet, right? Or are we barely in it?
We're barely in it.
Barely in it. It doesn't feel like it here in California, that's for sure. It
It
feels like the middle of the apocalypse with solar flares just burning us to a crisp. But, especially with the fact that, Respawn already listened to the community and reverting the shields back to the way they were, and people were really happy about that. I think that would have been enough to carry them through to just making September Soiree or early October Soiree, whatever it ended up being. They could have taken time to work those kinks out, especially with the things that I'm reading about. How Dummy's Big Day, when it dropped, there was that huge glitch where if you went AFK in the loading screen or the character select screen, one of the two, it would just shut down the whole server, and so they had to pull it, right?
Yeah, and it's getting re-added, I think, next week.
Yes.
So this week is Armed and Dangerous, and then next Tuesday it'll be Dummy's Big Day again. So, but yeah, so they had those issues. Bryan, what do you think?
Well, I think you guys kind of touched on it. I don't think anybody's too happy with this event. The Summer Soiree has been a very disappointing... September, thank you. Has been a very disappointing event, especially compared to what we were expecting and what everyone else had. Now, that being said, they didn't promise us an event. So, my question to you guys is, if they didn't label this September Soiree, would you even be mad?
No, if they would have said nothing, I probably wouldn't have cared.
If they would have said nothing, I'd be like, oh, cool, we get Dummy's Big Day. We get all these other events that are coming on right now. It's not labeled anything. We weren't expecting it.
Especially because they reverted the shields, and I've been having so much more fun just playing the game.
But since they labeled it an event, we expect more of it. It puts it to that higher standards. Now, is that an issue with the community expecting that out of every event that comes out? Or is that a issue with them saying, here's an event and this is actually a Band-Aid, but we're trying to disguise it as an event? Which one is it?
I think that when you, for a year long, for how long has Apex been out? A year? Year and a half? 2?
Longer than that.
It's almost 2, I think.
Almost 2 years? Okay. For the past almost 2 years, every single event has been so lit and has been so great. Everything's been so awesome, with all the gameplay changes, all the new things we get to test out, all the fun game modes that they added in, and then we get an event, and it's just a fucking shit show. Why is it this bad? We are expecting better.
We didn't even get a legitimate event when it came out because of the Dummy's Big Day thing. It literally, we had to, we shut it down.
They immediately pulled it back.
Yeah.
And they didn't have to do that. I've always been such a big proponent of betas. Just throw a beta mode in there, because as soon as you put beta in front of it, everybody's like, well, it's going to have problems, but it's going to be fun. We're going to try it out. We're getting to pioneer and help the developers figure themselves out and have fun in the process. That's a different thing, man. You can't put something together with fit and finish and say, this is something you guys should be excited about, and then have it be an unpolished product, especially when there's not anything particularly new being introduced. That's just, it's not an appropriate Band-Aid, and I don't think it was necessary.
To be fair, this is the first time we have gotten an event that didn't have something new in it, so technically I guess we're pretty damn spoiled.
This is a bad time to do it, though.
It is a bad time.
Bad time.
It's not the right time to do it.
You actually just touched on the point that I had written down. I said, every single event we've had till now has been great. This is the only bad one. That being said, that to me, that says this is going to be such a minuscule thing come 3 months from now.
Yeah.
We're not going to look at Apex and be like, it's a bad game because they had one bad event. They had a bad event. There's still time to actually fix this event because, like we said, Armed and Dangerous normally has something new. I don't know if it does. I haven't played it yet. There's still time for Dummy's Big Day to come out. Again, maybe they saw the community reaction to it and they want to throw in more stuff. Maybe they have something in their back pocket. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they did. So there's still time to fix it. But even if not, it doesn't make the game worse. No. The game itself is still good. We're just wanting a little bit of new content because they labeled it Soiree. If they didn't label it Soiree, we'd be like, oh, shit, we get a bunch of new game modes for no reason at all. That's great.
Overall, there's a little bit of frustration and disappointment, but by the time Season 7 rolls around, we're going to have so much new shit, we're not even going to know what to do with it.
We hope.
We hope.
We hope.
We hope.
I think it's very obvious because, like, you know, I play way more Call of Duty than anything else. And when you look at how many game modes Call of Duty has, I know that that's something they're known for, and I'm not saying it's a direct parallel. But once you have the game platform, developing new game mode ideas, I feel like is relatively straightforward. And there's been, I mean, God, so many generations of video games you can draw inspiration from. I don't think they'd have any trouble coming up with new game modes, not just introducing the same ones from previous times and adding little new things to it. But I think what this is showing is that their resources are being directed towards something else, probably cross-plat, if I had to guess, and then, you know, the next season stuff as well. And instead of giving the appropriate amount of resources to putting together an event that had genuinely new and pioneering stuff that people got to try, they just kind of they put a new fresh coat of paint on things they'd already done to try to hold people over, and I don't think people appreciated it.
There's just one more thing I want to say that's upsetting about this event, and that is that they brought all the skins back in a bundle where you could pay for the price you'd pay for one skin last year, you get all 4 of them and every single gun from last year as well in one bundle for the same price.
I'm going to be really mad if they do that for the Christmas one, because I paid a shit ton to be able to get those Pathfinder gloves. Mm-hmm. And the only way you would get those easy was from doing the event and busting your ass to get as many medals as you can to be able to earn that and to be able to pay to be able to get all the stuff in that. Yeah. And it costs a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that was like...
It's definitely frustrating. Yeah. I think for the newer players, it'll be like, hell yeah. But, I mean, for the people who've been playing forever, it's like, dude, really?
Like, you made me blow how much on this shit last year?
Yeah. You're going to train people to wait.
Yeah.
You're going to train them to wait. Mm-hmm. That's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, because once you start training them to wait, then they're just not going to spend as much.
And you like, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, like, when there's something that's, like, legitimately limited time, and I buy it, and I actually step up and I pay my real dinero for the stuff, and I get it, I want to feel like no one else is going to get it unless they coughed up the money right now. I want to know that that's special to me and for people that were playing in this point in time and that were willing to pay. Not like, well, you know, in another 6 months to a year, everybody's going to be able to get it at a quarter of the price. It's like, man, that's not exciting. I want to be walking around with something that shows, like, you know, I was not necessarily at day one, but, like, you know, I've been playing this thing and I care about it, and, like, in this point in time, I was willing to pay. Like, that's... You take away that joy from the items if you're just going to bring them back for a discount later.
Exactly.
It makes me not want to go in on the next event.
Yeah.
That's what it makes me want to do. It says, no, I'll just wait another year till it comes back and get it on budget.
Exactly, and that's that. You want to feel like you have something limited time, and I think that's why people got so mad when the Voidwalker skin came back for Wraith, because it was like, yo, we're ready to go, and we got that thing when it came out, and now everybody can just get it.
Well, that was like Season 2 or some shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the price difference... If you're going to bring it back, keep it the same price that you had it originally, and only make it limited
better,
time.
But, like, even then, it's like, for example, if you were to pre-order a game, right, and then get something special for pre-ordering it, it's like, well, I put the money in ahead of time to pre-order this damn thing so that I could get this item. How pissed would you be, right, if that same item came up in the store 6 months later? It's like it totally robs you of the pride and the joy of having something special.
Yeah, exactly. And you hit it perfectly. Yeah. All right, so let's hit another quick ad before we get into the gambling section of the show. And then on the other side, we will start yelling at each other. All right. Time to get into the gambling segment. For those of you new to the show, this is my favorite part of the show. We gamble on each other here. Just to go through the rules a little bit, we all started with 100 bones a few weeks ago. The group creates lines for every player at the table for the upcoming week. The players will then bet the over and under on those set lines. The only restriction is they can't bet the under on themselves. Each player will play 16 games by themselves, and they have to do whatever happens in those 16 games. That's what happens. We've had a lot of bad things happen, a lot of good things happen. So whatever happens there, then we come back here. We go through our lines, go through our bets, and hijinks ensue. So let's get into it, boys. I had a great week. Troy had a great week. The other two people at this table, I'm not so sure of. I know Kyle had a bad week. I'm not sure about Bryan.
I had an okay week. Not terrible, but I definitely probably got dethroned as the best record holder. So
I'm going to save mine for the shock factor to release it to you guys at the end.
Brian, it's not a shock if you sucked, okay? If you did bad, it's not a shock.
Listen,
It's like
all I know
waking up
is
and being like, just having a heart attack because you saw the sun came
Troy-
up. Doesn't make sense.
Troy might have to be scared, or he might not. We'll find out.
Will we?
I don't. Yes.
Will we? Are we wondering? There's only one person here that thinks that we're wondering, and it's you.
I know. This is me not wanting to say.
Brian's
what I got.
face is red.
This is me just not wanting to
Brian
say what
has
I
a
got because I know as soon as I say it, I'm about to get fucking roasted. Okay,
Just say it. Just say it.
he's already on fire in his
Let
seat.
me tell you right now.
Hold on. We'll go through all of us, and then we'll go. Okay? Troy, you did the best this week. Go ahead and start.
I did. I did do the best this week. I think that this is a trend that people need to pay attention to. So I made 6 bets. I hit 5. So I went 5-1 this week. Okay, it's incredible.
Just shat on
It's
everybody.
just God. It just
How many
felt-
bones
it
are you
felt
up?
So good. So just this week, I added 110 bones to my collection. Plus the 10 that I got for the week puts me at 275
Son
in
of
my
a
bankroll.
bitch.
275. My overall record is 8-3. Okay, and I'm just walking around with my nipples hard all the time.
Gosh damn it. I did the second best this week. I actually had a decent week. I was happy with the way I gambled.
Wait, so your line changed?
What?
Your line actually changed this week?
Yeah, my line actually changed. I don't want to hear shit from you, Brian. Why you better stop talking shit before you say your record.
Well,
boy.
dude, listen. You said the first week you're like, I'm conservative. Clearly, you're conservative when
Well,
nothing changes.
so
I
it's
expected
changed.
the same. It's changed.
It's changed.
Wow.
Yeah, money bag bag.
Did it go up one?
It's
No,
not
it's-
money bag
it's
babs
definitely went
until
up.
you bet a 50
Hey,
burger.
hey, can
Yeah.
I talk, please? You guys do this to me every week. Every time I'm about to say what I'm about to say, you're like, oh, you have no ball sack.
Sorry,
I'm
you
just
little
trying to
bitch.
All right, here we go. I was 5-2 this week. Troy was 5-1. I was 5-2. I had one extra bet, but I only went up 22 bones. But 22 bones nonetheless. I also added up that 10, so overall I'm sitting at 142 bones, which is a good amount less than Troy. Kyle, you're up.
All right, so I did probably the worst this. Well, I don't know how Brian did, but I think I did the worst this week. I went 3-4 on my bets. I'm only +5, plus the 10, so technically +15. So I'm at 120 bones, and my overall record is 7-6 now. So I probably got dethroned by Troy. So
You probably did? No, you definitely did. There's 100%.
You did.
All right, but don't worry. Brian's coming in. It's like when you're watching NASCAR, and I mean I don't watch NASCAR, so I can't tell who's in first or who's in last. But when you have that little ticker at the bottom, and then it has the little label that says how many times that one car has been lapped that flew into the stands in the first lap, that's the ticker that Brian is going to be talking about right
The
now.
car that was in the McDonald's drive-thru as they were starting the race.
Yeah, no, it's like all the cars, and then it's the one marathon runner they have running alongside the track.
All right, Brian.
So I need to preface this
No, you don't.
with
No, you don't.
my record and my bones do not reflect how I played this week. I
Oh,
played
my
well.
God. See, he's already deflecting. See, this is how you know Brian had a
this
bad
is how
week.
you know you had a bad week.
Brian, just
So-
say it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
I had. Don't look.
I'm not.
You're trying to peek over here, Troy. Why are you trying to peek?
Oh, no.
I made
Don't worry about it.
18
You-
bets this week.
Brian made 18 bets.
Oof.
I got 6 of them right.
Oh no.
My overall record is now 9-19.
That is terrible, Brian.
Garbage.
Brian, you're not only
I-
the worst gambler at this table, you are the worst gambler possibly on Earth.
I went negative 15 bones after the 10 I gained back. I went minus 25.
So what are you sitting
Sure, you're
at?
negative 25.
I am
but
sitting
you
at
gained the 10.
102 bones, and I've
Oh.
gotten 20 free ones. I should be at 82, but thank you for my allowance.
Okay,
I may
well.
have to take a extra on this.
Oh, God, Brian. So your overall record this week was 6-12?
6-12.
Oh,
I'm
God.
I'm 9-19 overall.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go through the lines for this week, starting with me. My lines this week, because I didn't play as well, not as good. They've kind of pretty much stayed the
played like
same.
shit.
I did not play like shit, Brian. Okay. I did not get
Played
20
shit
kills
for
in
one quarter.
16 games. I did not get 20 kills in 16 games. My overall kills is 37.5, with the first and second halves being 18.5 and each quarter being 9.5. My average damage is going to stay at 650, as well as my max damage is actually going to go down a little bit at 1800. Moving on to Bryan's lines. Bryan is sitting at 25 kills with his first and second halves at 12.5, each quarter at 6. Average damage for Bryan is sitting at 600. We moved that one up a little bit. Bryan has been playing really well damage-wise recently, and then the max damage is sitting at 1900. For Kyle's lines, they're going to move up because Kyle had a good week. 35 kills is his total, with first and second half at 17.5 and each quarter at 9. Average damage is sitting at 550, and his max damage is 2100 because he has hit his max every week so far in the gambling season. So those are the lines for this week. Who wants to get in their bets first?
I don't want to get into my bets first, but I want to talk about the fact that the picture of me that's up on the Twitter, okay, I'm pink. I look like Pepto. All you had to do was click one shader. Even if you'd done it in black and white, I would have been happy. I'm looking at myself in black and white, man, I'm pretty. But when I look at myself on the Twitter, okay, I look like Bryan when he's talking about his record.
Yeah, because Bryan gets red.
He gets red,
He's
but
red.
I don't get red.
He's like Larry the Lobster.
Why do I look so flushed?
I don't know. I took the picture. I think you look fine.
I do look fine in real life, but the people don't know that if they're just looking at Twitter, man.
Dude, okay.
You do
here's
look
the thing.
kinda pink.
I
Dude,
think
I don't think
you,
I don't.
I don't
No,
think
I
that's
don't.
the issue of
Hey,
your picture.
Listen, don't worry about it. I took the worst picture on purpose so
No,
that you
took
could feel
your
better.
picture ended up the best.
It's quite honestly you
It
look
is
like
the best.
Ozzy in his prime.
It is the best. If you guys, by the way, if you guys
I thought I
want,
looked like Sid the Sloth. So I mean, Ozzy's an upgrade.
by the way, if you guys want to take a look at the bets during the week, head on down to the Twitter at GrabMyBannerPod. We have a graphic for each of our bets during the week. So Troy is talking about his picture on that graphic. Now, here's the thing, Troy. I don't think that was the bad part of your picture. I think the bad part was your smile. I think you should have just came stone-faced. Just fucking stone-faced.
But that's not me.
I know it's not you,
That's
but
not
it
me,
would
man.
look so badass.
I'm not
Because
trying to
even
look-
your head tilted, your smile is so heavy that your head had to tilt because of it.
Yeah, no, it's just because I've lost more follicles on the left side. Okay. Hey, did you know? Okay, this is a serious aside, but did you know in Japan you can send in your hair now and they'll grow it they'll literally grow it like a chia pet and then send it back to you to install into your head. That's a thing. For anyone out there that has the money to do that, okay, think about
Do you
donating
have
to
the
my
prices?
cause.
I know you looked up the prices.
I didn't look up the dude. I literally have a small bunny in my passenger seat with change that I've been using to buy corn dogs for the last 2 weeks. Okay, I'm not thinking about growing my own hair, man. Like we're just not there.
Oh shit!
I gotta stay in my lane, man.
Oh, bro. Either way, I think your picture. I mean, you're smiling so hard, you're using neck muscles, and that's why you're tilted sideways. I think you should have just came stone faced, and you would have looked badass. You would have looked like a middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears,
What?
or like Brian Urlacher. He's just like.
What?
Do they have
huge?
bears in Chicago? I thought Chicago was a city. They have
I'm talking
bears
about
in
I'm talking
Chicago.
about the football team.
The-
Do
What?
you really not know Chicago
Chicago-
Bears?
The Chicago Bears?
You didn't know?
But they're a city. Why do they have bears as their mascot?
Dude, you didn't know the Chicago Bears were a football team?
This is not a football podcast.
I can't believe you. I can't believe you.
Sorry, everybody. He only knows that the Oakland Raiders exist.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, they're not Oakland anymore. I know that too.
Brian, who did you miss most your bets on? Kyle?
I
You bet a lot of unders on
I
Kyle.
Missed quite a few on Kyle. Missed quite a few on Kyle.
Bet he
I
won't
missed,
make that
I missed
mistake again.
a few on you, and I missed a couple more on me.
What do you mean you missed a few on Kyle? You only have
Brian.
you only have one hit on Kyle.
Brian,
1,
what's your
2, 3,
phrase?
4, 5. You have 5 misses on Kyle.
Brian, what's your catchphrase again? What is it?
If you can't bet on yourself, who are you going to bet on?
Oh,
dude?
yeah.
Listen, I bet on myself.
Yeah, but when
I
he
hit
says
more
it
on
sounds
myself
more like
than anybody else. I bet more on myself, and I won more off myself than anyone else.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'll get into my bets first this week. I'm feeling good. This is my first winning week, really, because last week I made 0 bones. So I'll go first.
Might as well have not even played.
Yeah, honestly, that was kind of bad. I'm betting a lot of, not a lot. I'd say I'm betting around the same number I bet last week. Bones.
You're never going to catch Troy like that.
Well, you're never going to catch Troy going down 25 bones. So I don't want to hear shit from you over there. So I'm going to bet on myself a little bit here. I'm going to bet the over by 5 bones on my second half kill total of 18.5. I think I hit that. I had a bad week this week, and especially my second quarter, but I feel like that second quarter is more of an outlier than any of the other ones. So I'm confident that I can hit the 18.5 on the over there. I'm also going to bet my max damage over. I haven't hit a max damage once in this entire betting season, but now the line is dropped to 1800. I feel like I can do that if I focus for it. A lot of the games, what I'm trying to get is kills and not damage. If I focus on damage, I think I could easily hit that number. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that.
How many? Over for how many?
3 bones. So then going on to Bryan, I have a lot of overs on Bryan once again. Actually, just 2, but I bet a lot of bones on Bryan. I bet 5 bones on his first quarter over for kills at 6. I think.
Jeez, bro.
I just think it's.
Jeez, bro.
Why?
Listen, okay. Are you familiar with poker, or do you just know about bears?
No, I know poker.
Okay, not just animals. You know poker?
I know football teams and I know poker.
Okay, listen. So in poker, what happens is, as you progress in the game, the minimum amount that you can bet increases. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay? And here we are. What week is it?
It's week 2, 3.
3.
Yeah, it's week 3.
Well,
listen, you're coming at me with the first week mentality. You're still betting things that I can count on one of my hands. I'm very blessed to have all my
I have my
fingers.
first double-digit bet.
You got to remember, Troy. He basically didn't play week 1. This is week 2 for him.
I don't even want to hear from your 102
Listen, I have my
ass.
first double-digit bet this week.
I don't even want to hear from you, Bryan.
I can't say shit this
You
week.
can't say shit this week. My point is, man, if you keep betting things that are under double digits, all right, we're not even going to give you a seat at the table.
I have my first double-digit bet right now. I'm about to say it.
Okay, let's wait. Let's hear him out.
Okay, all right. So I have another bet on Bryan for average damage total at 600. I think Bryan plays really well for average, and I think he hits it most of the time. He has some outliers when you calculate all the quarters together. He had some outliers there on the underside, but I felt like his overs on the average damage were just much more significant than the unders were, and I think Bryan, a lot of times, he hits all the shots except the last one, and he gets his kill stealed, which is fucking hilarious when I'm playing with him. It sucks for him.
Yeah, you're
when
welcome,
he's by
Kyle.
himself. But either
Thanks,
way,
brother.
I think he hits that. Now,
Over for how many? You didn't say.
10.
10?
That's my first double-digit bet. I have the most bets this week on Kyle. I went with the first half over on kills at 17.5 for 6 bones. Kyle can get kills. He's a terrible teammate, so he likes to steal kills from other people. So I really believe he will be able to hit that 17.5 easily.
I like to think of myself as a blue jay. You just make the nest, and then I steal the nest from you. So that's the way I play.
Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah. And now that you're owning it, I feel a lot more comfortable sitting next to you. Before I felt like you just swiped my wallet or something. Now I feel better.
I might have.
He's now an honest thief.
So then I also have the first quarter over on Kyle's kills of plus 3 bones because, 9, I feel like Kyle can hit that. Even if he doesn't, I lose 3 bones. Not a big deal. I can hit it easily on the 17.5 first
Because it's
half.
a weak bet.
Yeah. No. Sometimes I just say yeah. It's just a California thing, I think. So my average damage, I also think Kyle will do well in the do unwell. He will do poorly in the second quarter. This is the first time I took an under on Kyle. I'm going to go under 3 bones on his second quarter average damage. He had a terrible second and fourth quarter this week, while it could easily switch back to the first and third. This is one of those bets where you just kind of got to pick your spot and hope that it lands. So I went under for 3 bones on that one. I also went under on his max damage of 2,100 for 3 bones. Kyle's hit his max damage every week for the first 3 weeks of the gambling segment, but now it's up to 2,100. It was previously 1,900 and 2,000. 2,100 is pretty steep, so I went under on that one, and that will do it for my bets.
Well, not to mention that every time Kyle's hit his max, it's been a massive outlier compared to the rest of his damage.
Yeah.
So listen, I hear you guys talking shit, so I'm going to go through my bets. 'Cause
Okay,
you
go
guys
ahead.
all suck.
Is it going to make me feel like I'm watching my grandma play the penny slots, like it made me feel when Wyatt was talking about his
I hate
5
you
bone
so
bets?
much. I had a 10-bone bet.
I feel like I'm watching children play marbles and bet sticks.
You have to admit. Oh, hold on. You have to admit one thing here. Every week, I've grown a little bit more. I'm like a.
Well,
I'm
it's
like
kind of
a
easy
child.
to grow from week 1 to week 2 when you don't play week 1.
Listen, here's the thing. You ever seen the movie Vivarium
No,
with Jesse Eisenberg?
no.
Okay, so in Vivarium,
Are
it's
there
like
bears?
No, there's not bears.
There's no bears.
There's no football teams, Troy. So essentially, Jesse Eisenberg and his wife in
Sounds
the
like a
movie,
bear.
they get stuck. They were shopping for a house, and they get stuck in this neighborhood, and it's essentially like a time loop. Like they can't escape it, and the people who own, I guess, air quotes, the time loop, they hand them a child, and the child ages very fast. Like by the time it's like in 90 days, he goes from an infant to like 8 years old. I'm that child from Vivarium. The first week I bet 1 to 2 unit plays on everything.
Yeah.
Then it went to 5 unit to 6 unit last week. Now I got my first double digit. Soon I'm gonna be hitting triple digits. I might hit triple digits next week.
So you're an alien time child.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to be anything else.
Yeah, well, if that's what that means, okay, then I don't even want to watch that movie because
You shouldn't.
that
Okay,
movie.
first of all,
that's the
don't
movie
watch that
equivalent.
movie.
It's the movie equivalent of kids playing marbles and betting sticks. I'm here. I'm here to watch men clash to the death over betting. That's what I want. I want you guys to step up. I want you to inflate yourselves like a puffer fish in danger. Okay. And I want you to throw down with all of your pride. And 5 unit bets, man, it's not doing it for me.
I think Kyle's card, you're going to like his.
Listen. So I decided to go extra ballsy this week because Troy got me hyped. All right, Troy got me hyped in here. Okay,
Well, get into
so
it then.
I'm here to play some damn bets. Okay, so on Wyatt's thing, I'm going to place 5 bones on his half in kills. So the 18.5, I think he hits that
First
or second?
second half because YB, we all know he has clutch. He's got that clutch factor like Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. And man, he just fucking hits it, you know. So I really think the second half, the 18.5 is going to be it's going to be so easy, it's not even going to be funny. Then on the average damage, I got him up 10 bones, 650. 650, are you kidding me? He hit that 3 out of the 4 quarters this week. He is getting the 650. He's getting it. Max damage. I've got 10 units on Wyatt Babb's max damage because he's coming out
Over
with
under.
I've got it over because he's got that fire in him this week because we talked so much shit about him not getting the max damage the last 2 weeks that I think he's going to get it.
I might
Well,
get
we also dropped it quite a bit.
We dropped it a lot.
I
I think
get-
He needed the handicap.
I think we dropped it from 2,000, and it was 2,200, I think, when we started. And now it's down to like 1,800.
I
So
mean, you saw when
I
we
can-
all played together, you and me both outplayed B in damage and kills.
I can
Yeah.
see Bryan talking on the other side of the table, but he's so far below the scoreboard, like he's so in the basement that I can't really hear it. Like it's not really.
I think his nutsack
registering.
deflated a little bit.
Yeah, I can't. I just can't. Like I'm trying to.
Listen.
It's just difficult.
I played well this week. It was my bets that were shit, okay? I know my bets were shit this week, but I played well.
They were more than
Now
just
I-
shit, Bryan.
Brian, I got some bets on you too. So
They better all be overs.
they are.
Wow. You
I-
actually favored me for once.
So listen, you played really good last week. Don't show me up and do shitty next week because if you do, Troy is going to roast you to
Kyle.
no end, and he's going to roast me too.
Kyle, I want you to know it is my life's passion to make your bets shit.
Listen, if you suck this week and Troy roasts me and you, this is going to be the worst next week possible. So I have got the over for 5 bones on your kills, and I've got the over on your average damage for 600 for 10 bones, Brian, because I know you put on that damage, but I know you don't get no damn kills. And in the first quarter, I've got over 5 bones for you to get it in the first quarter for average damage because that hits for double, and I trust your ass because you
How many? For
5
5?
bones. Because if you're gonna get it at all, it's gonna be in the first quarter. That's all I got for Brian.
Did you look at my week 1 first quarter?
It wasn't
No. I looked at your week 2 quarter one. I know what the week 1
Week 1 was 250.
Yeah, I know you shat the bed the first week. Okay.
What is this little black notebook, Brian? Was that papyrus?
Bro,
what are you doing?
Listen, I like stats and I like stationery. Okay.
He's very organized. So, and then I got some bets on myself. So I think 550 average damage. I could probably hit that because my outlier games are just too good. And I got 5 bones on that above. I think I bet all overs this week. And then I've got 10 bones on me hitting my max damage in the second half. And those are all my bets because, of course, I'm going to hit it in the second half because, your boy's got to warm up.
Brian's waving his finger in my face. I don't know what it means.
I wanted to see his bets. I didn't write them down right.
All right, who's next?
All right, well, it's got to be me. Okay, it's got to be me. But right now I'm a little distracted.
Brian, if you come at me with another 18-play card this week where I have to type that up on the graphic.
It's not an 18-play card.
Okay.
Oh,
it's
man.
20.
Sorry, Troy. I just had to...
did you say 26?
No, you didn't. You did not
Jesus,
bet
dude.
26.
You might have to fit that
my
into...
God. It's like
Brian.
you're like, man, I can't win at the game. I can't win at betting. I got to win at something. I'm going to win at having the
You're
most
joking, right?
shitty bets of all time. No, he's not joking. He's so serious. It's sad.
God, Brian.
Oh, man.
Brian, this feels bad.
I'm
okay
actually not.
typing it all up.
Oh, no, it's not. It's not 26.
Okay.
It's 28.
Yeah, no, dude, he's trolling you so fucking hard. He's trolling you so hard.
I'm scared you are.
Oh,
Hilarious.
my goodness.
Troy, go ahead.
Oh, dude.
I'm more worried about your bones than me typing that shit up.
Yeah.
I can do that all day.
And,
Don't you worry about my bone.
yeah, Brian, please, Brian. Is there even 28 lines? I don't even think there's 28 lines, man.
There's a total of 64 you can bet.
Yep.
Well,
Listen,
you
D, I
just
might
put
have
me-
to do
you
that
put me
one
in my
day.
place.
have to do that.
every line up or down.
All right, Troy, hit it.
Okay, I'm gonna hit it. But like I said, I'm distracted because I'm thinking about how fancy Brian's notebook is and what a shame it is that he's tracking his performance in it. It wasn't made for that purpose, man. This kind of shit. That's like an ancient Egyptian scroll, and you're just using it as toilet paper.
Who says I'm only tracking mine?
I know, bro. Yeah, well, I hope to God you're tracking at least Wyatt's. All right, okay. So I
Definitely not tracking Kyle's damage.
I'm so unafraid. I'm so unafraid of everyone else at this table right now. I didn't feel like I had to go crazy, and I didn't see anything where I was super confident like I was last week in Kyle. That paid off great for me because I saw an opportunity and I took it.
How was your payoff with me?
It was poor as always. Yeah.
Well, you bet against me. That's why.
Brian.
Did you not bet against me?
I did bet against you,
And you failed, right?
I did fail.
See, that's why you bet on me.
It's because it's related to you in some way. All right, there's just you can't do a deal with the devil and come out on top, man. I'm learning that every week. I'm learning it more and more. All right, so I made a bet, a pretty conservative bet on Wyatt Babb getting an over in fourth quarter kills. Okay, so that's going to be 9.5. I'm putting 10 bones over on 9.5 on his fourth quarter for kills. And then I also put, for a 2-to-1 bet, a over on his fourth quarter average damage for 20 bones. I think that's the bet that I'm the most excited about this week. Moving on to Brian, okay? I'm going to throw you a little bit of confidence, and I'm going to regret it until I die. But first quarter, okay, for kills, that would be 6 kills. I'm betting over 10 bones. Why don't you come through for me for once, Brian? Why don't we make this relationship blossom? Because right now I treat you like the one big mole I have on my groin, where I look at it every day and I'm like, dude, someday you're going to be the death of me.
Dude, you need to go
that's
get
the
that
way.
checked.
Yeah, I know. I have had it checked, okay? And the doctors literally pay me to leave. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do about it when they won't even look. I pull it out. And a doctor's supposed to have seen it all, right? Like,
You're supposed to make an appointment. You can't just whip out your coin and places.
Actually, I'm not. Sometimes I make the mistake.
The supermarket doesn't count as
No, it's definitely. It does have sliding doors, but I know it's not a supermarket. I go in there, and sometimes I make the mistakes of thinking that everybody that is in a doctor's office is a doctor. So sometimes I go up to the woman at the counter who's supposed to be making appointments, and I just show her my mole, and then I immediately get escorted out. And so,
understandably so.
That's happened enough times that, I just decided to let fate decide. And that's what I'm doing with you. So, moving on to Wyatt Babb. No, I already did Wyatt.
You already did Wyatt.
That's right.
You only made one bet on me, man. You're fucking up.
Bet,
how do you not bet on my average damage?
I did 6 bets this week. No, sorry. I did 4 bets this week, and I guarantee I'm betting more than all of you, except for maybe you, Bryan, but that doesn't scare me. Okay, so Kyle Graff. I have 1 bet on Kyle. It's a 2-to-1 bet on his third quarter average damage, which would be 550. Okay, I'm betting over 25 bones. And that completes my card. I have 4 bets for a total of 65 bones, and that's coming out of my bankroll of 275. It's just it's so hard for me to be this far ahead. It really is. You guys should feel bad for me because I honestly don't feel like anyone in here really thinks they can win anymore. They're certainly not betting like it.
He's not even the highest bettor at the stable right now.
Oh my God, Bryan, just get into it because I have a feeling it's going to take a half hour all in its own.
So I actually
we need to have somebody to like play like the band as the Titanic is going down, where they're like serenading everybody while they know they're about to die. Like that's what we have to play when Bryan's.
I'll find a song.
That's what we have to play when Brian's about to read his card.
All right, Bryan, I'm going to find you a song and I'm going to play it and I'm going to see how you like it this week.
I want Mr. Krabs.
Hey, if they have the worst week, I'm going to make him. I'm going to play the song behind.
Dude, I want Mr. Krabs' tiny violin.
Okay, I'll find you one. Go ahead, Bryan.
So I actually bet at least 1 over on everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you learned from your mistake of betting only unders on Kyle last week.
I still bet unders on Kyle.
Okay.
You dumbass.
Okay, so I bet over on Wyatt's total kills. So I didn't bet any quarters or halves because I've been fucking myself with quarters or halves. So I threw those out the window and I decided to say just the big bets. The main categories all the way through, and I bet on every main category. Obviously, I gave all overs to me because it's me, and I do that. Can't bet on yourself. Who are you going to bet on?
I hate you.
So I bet over on Wyatt's kills of 37.5 for 10 bones. Again, he's got it in him. He hit 10 more than that his first week. He had a bad week. We all know he had a bad week. And we'll give him shit for that bad week because he fucking sucked this week. But
in 1 quarter.
Yeah, you still sucked. But we will expect a solid bounce back from him. I see him getting at least 40 this week. Then I bet over on average damage at 650. Because if you're putting up 40 kills, you at least have to have enough damage, unless you're Kyle, to get 650 average.
Historically bad teammate.
Yeah. Listen, I'm the opposite of you, Kyle. I get a ton of damage and no kills, which means I'm supplying those for my teammates. And then I bet the max damage on Wyatt because 1800 is just way too damn low. If he decides to focus that once in the entire 16 games, he's going to get it. So I bet 15 bones on the over for max damage on Wyatt. So I got a lot riding on Wyatt, a total of 35 on Wyatt. On myself, because it's me. I put 10 on my kills because 25 is still too low. I proved that this week. I will prove it again. Or I proved that last week. I'll prove it again this week. Average damage. You guys gave me 600. What is this? I get more damage than Wyatt does. Like, you got to give me more. So obviously I'm putting another 10 on that. Now, I haven't hit my max consistently of 19. I hover around that area, but I'm not. I'm still going to bet over on it because I got a bet on me. So I can put an over of 2 bones there. And then I got Kyle. Kyle. Kyle, I bet over on you for kills. Because that's the only thing that I can trust that you will get consistently is kills.
That's for damn sure.
So I bet over of 3 on it just because I'm a little bitter about it. So I put 3.
3 unit? You're a bitch.
I'm bitter, okay? I'm a little bitter. You kind of fucked me this past week, so I don't want to put much on you.
He fucked you because you bet all unders on him.
I was...
Listen,
I was Troy's
his
like,
average
way
damage,
to get to 200.
His average damage went up to 550. If he doesn't have one good game, again, one good
I
game,
agree with you on that.
It is not good. So I've bet 5 units under on your average damage.
I think if Kyle focused on damage, this is one of those situations where if he focused on it, he'd get it, but he's just focused on stealing his teammates' kills.
Yes. And then...
Which is fine.
Yeah. Perfectly fine. I mean, just bad teammate. Perfectly fine, I guess.
Terrible teammate.
Right?
But.
Fuck you both. All right.
And then we have the max damage, which if I'm betting under on the average damage, that means I'm assuming he's not going to hit that high outlier game. So that just makes sense to bet under on the max damage for 5 more units.
Damn.
See, I put it over on you.
That's a mistake.
Is that it?
Yeah, I only made 9 bets. That's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that should be an easy week for me then.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So if you were to hit every single one, you'd still be negative in bets. You'd still have a losing record.
Listen, I
No,
fucked
he would.
up. No, I bet 9. I'd be
Because it's
I'd be-
9 and 19.
I'd be down
Oh,
1.
he's 9 and 9. I was
I'd be
thinking
down
of
1.
this week's record.
No, I'd be down 1. But I did put on, how many bones was this? I think I put 35 there, another 10, 13, 14,
Math is
15, another 15.
Just disregard this.
You're
The public
completely
needs to
throwing me off right
completely
now.
disregard.
Just
25, 35.
Let's just assume
I
that it's
70. I put 70 bones down
Okay.
this week.
Plus or minus 35.
No, it's 70.
All right, so got our bets in. Feeling good. I'm feeling good. I need a bounce back week, big time. I need a bounce back week.
You
big
do.
time.
You need it. You all need bounce back weeks. Yeah, I'm running away with this.
I bet 60 bones this week as well, and I'm hoping that I get a good payoff off of it.
What, did you bet on me? Did you bet for me hitting overs?
Listen, I didn't.
Troy
bet
made that mistake
shit
last week.
on you
Troy,
because
Troy made that mistake last week, and he didn't get it.
You're 50-50 for me. You're 50-50
That's
for,
not my
for
fault that
overs,
you're betting
for
wrong.
overs and unders. No, I'm not. Dude, my record and my bones show you that I'm not betting wrong. You guys aren't playing the quarters enough. You're not working the system.
Brian, you gotta
because if
figure
you
out how to
get
work quarters.
if you get 2-to-1s or 3-to-1s, you can afford to make risky bets because you're gonna get it back. You're betting on just the whole values, man. It's like risk reward doesn't make sense.
Listen, I'm a stats guy. I need more stats. I'm a
The
stats
stats
guy.
guy
I need
is
more
9
stats.
and 19.
I need more stats to be able to know what's going on. I don't see any trends yet. We've only had 2 weeks worth of stats. I need more stats.
All right.
The only trend that we know for sure is that you suck.
No. I played well. I might suck at betting
you
right
suck
now.
At betting for sure.
But we're not betting on my betting. We're betting on my play.
the trend that we can keep up is that I'm going to hit one outlier game this week, and you guys are all going to suck it.
If Kyle does it for a third week in a row,
I might
I'm
start-
going to
I might
just
start-
accept it. Yeah,
I'm just going to start. At that point, I would just take the max.
Yeah, I'm going to take
But-
it every week.
And honestly, dude, even if I take the max, I still might not take your average damage.
Yeah, I won't either. Like
I wouldn't either, to
Yeah.
be honest. But
the only person at this table to hit a 0-0 the entire gambling.
fuck you. Brian hit one.
No, he didn't. He hit a lot of zeros, but he didn't hit a 0.
I have no 0 damage in any of my games.
Listen, fuck you guys. I did get a 0-0. That wasn't my fault.
How does it-
Hold on. You also got a 21. Does anybody have lower than I have a 21 as well.
He was going to grill me for a 21. And
Does anybody have lower than a 21? But I thought that
that's that Mozambique shot that you just hit.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a Mozambique.
All right, guys. Well, that should just about wrap up this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at GrabMyBannerPod and go ahead and check out our TikTok at GrabMyBannerPod as well. We're putting out TikToks consistently, and I will have all of the bets and the records up on Twitter soon. I will also have the Week 1 stats for every character. That's a new graphic I'm making for everyone so that you'll be able to see their stats. So if you want to make your bets at home just for fun, that you can tag along and kind of have some statistics to go behind. So that'll wrap it up for the show. On behalf of everyone at this table, this is the Grab My Banner podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.